So, okay, I've gotten a couple questions about setting up Strangles and Iron Condors in a trading account, and my screen right here is just the current positions I have left. I had maybe 4 times this amount on before all of this started, but I was short Delta, so I took off all the winning shorts, which was probably a third, more than a third of them, and then those were obviously winners, but then the remaining kind of just blew up on me, so I had to bail on a few, and I kept a couple of small positions on, relatively small. This E-mini position here is rather large, and this is a wide oil strangle, again, which is rather large, but I just have a couple of one lots in Apple, which is not going very well, and TLT, which is a bond ETF, which is not going very well. So I just want to show how I manage this, like how I adjust this Apple position, and okay. So before getting into that, I want to go to this E-mini position. This is just a very wide strangle, and I want to close it because I sold this strangle for, it's a very, very wide strangle. As you can see here, I can't even find my contracts. Here they are. Here's one of them. I sold this for over 20 bucks, and now it's barely over 10. So this is coming huge for me, so I just want to take this off. Let's see if I can get filled here. I can come back and adjust the price a little. Oh, there it goes. No need to adjust the price. Done. Okay. So that was the E-mini futures, and now I'm just going to replace that because I want to keep my short premium on, short volatility. So E-minis are a big product. They're approximately, one E-mini contract is about 500 shares of SPY. So I'm just going to replace this with a one lot of SPY. So I'm going to come down here, and I don't know why this is set to all expirations, so I'll just go to regular expirations. That next regular expiration is April, 28 days from now. So we go out here. This platform has the ability to actually drop in via pull-down menu the actual strategies, but I prefer to build them manually just because that's the way I learned doing it. So I'm going to go to the one standard deviation line. This is going to be about 16 to 20-ish delta. I will sell a put. I will go to the equivalent place here and sell a call. And normally I don't go super wide on this past one standard deviation, but because it is volatility is so high and you're getting paid a lot for this, I might actually adjust this wider. So let me see what I can do here. Okay, I just looked at my portfolio deltas and I'm a little bit long, so I'm going to bring this call, what I'm going to do is bring this call in a couple of strikes. I'm going to bring it down here to the 280 line, and maybe I'll bring it down here to the 278. And then for this put, maybe I'll bring it down a couple strikes here. What are my deltas? Where's my delta? Here it is. This is still giving me a long delta, so I don't really care for that. But it's only five deltas, so it's the theoretical equivalent of 5 shares of stock. And I suppose I could live with that. Let me bring that up here. Just moving it around here, looking at the credit I received. So $5, a little over $5, relatively decent. So let's just lock this price in place. Is this what I want to do? Yes, only one contract. Did the price move on me or something? No, I'm just getting a warning because some of these markets are wide, so I'm going to route that order. Okay, let's see if that fills. If it doesn't fill in an instant or two, a minute or two, I will penny down the price and try to get filled. So let's go to Iron Condors, and for that I'm going to use QQQ rather than SPYs, which is the NASDAQ 100. Okay, and I like to build these by hand, although a lot of software packages nowadays do have the pull down menu. Where's Iron Condor? Right there. Where you could just like click short Iron Condor and it would build it for you, and then you could adjust it accordingly. But I never cared much for that. Oops, okay, April. So let's build it by hand, and let's think of an Iron Condor. There are different ways of thinking about it. You could think about it as two short vertical spreads, a vertical call spread, vertical put spread, or a short strangle and a wider long strangle. So let's think about it like that. So if we're thinking about this as a short strangle, just as before, I want to go to like 1 standard deviation. I'm just going to set up a 1 standard deviation strangle. There we go. So let's do a long strangle now, and let's just go 5 strikes wider. So we're here, we're at the, what is this, 209 line. So let's just go, I don't know, 214. And instead of selling that option, we're going to buy it. So let's go down here now, and let's go 5-ish lines and just go, let's see here, let's go that. Okay, so we're actually getting $2 and about $2 for this iron condor, which gives a probability of profit of about 71% and a probability of making 50% is about 80%. So that's actually pretty decent. Do I want to adjust this at all? What happens if I move the short strikes a little wider? $1.85. I prefer the $2. I prefer the bigger credit. So let's just go back to that. I was actually hoping this would be a little harder. I kind of like this trade here. So let's just route it. Done. Okay. And also, as I was shutting off, I shut off the recording to get some coffee, and I was also filled on the SPY trade. So that's done. I like these 1 standard deviation lines. You can bring them in closer, closer to the money. So you could set up something that's pretty close to a butterfly. You could go here, here. Where's my stock price? Here. Here, you're going to get a high price. You notice this is a $3 wide spread, and is it 3 or 4, whatever. But you're getting a lot more credit for it, and the price you pay for that. So it's a lot more credit, relatively small risk. The price you pay for that is your probability of profit goes down. So on iron condors, I'm looking for 55 to 65%, and we were actually at 70. So I thought that was a pretty good trade. So let's just get rid of that. And now let's adjust some of these bad positions that I have. The only bad one is going to be Apple. So let's open up Apple. Here we are, and even Apple is not horrible. This was a strangle that had gone bad. So here's my short put. Obviously the short put is in the money, and I've adjusted this a couple times, but this call really is not protecting me anymore. So I have collected a bunch of money on this strangle already. I've collected, I just looked at my notes, I collected about $14 for it. Let's just see how much it would cost to close it. So $22, so I sold it for 14, down 22, I'm down $8. That's just $800 on a 1 lot, which all things considered with everything going on is really good. So this call, as I said, is not doing me any good. It's only trading for 87 cents, and I would like something a little more meaty to give me a little bit of downside protection. So I'm just going to buy this call back and sell out, I don't know, let's sell out 20%. I'm looking at these probabilities and deltas. Let's sell out this call here and I'm going to receive a credit for $5.70. I'm paying a debit to buy this back, receiving a credit for that. And this is going to adjust my overall Apple delta. Let's go back here. So if we look at my Apple delta, it's about 45. So let's route that. Done. Let's go back here. And I've cut by delta, it's now 26. So I've cut it almost by 20, almost in half, say 40%. So good. And I collected a credit to do so, which is exactly what I want to do. I think that's all I have. I have a very bad position in bonds, which is a very wide inverted strangle. Now, normally a strangle is an out of the money put and an out of the money call. So this has obviously gone very bad, and I've had to invert, and as I'm inverting, I'm collecting more and more credit. The thing is, this is a really wide inverted strangle. It's 143 158. So it's a $15 wide strangle. So the minimum that this can go to, remember I'm short it, the minimum this can go to is $15 times 100 is 1500. So let's see how much left there is left to make. And I could do that just by doing the kind of the regular strangle. Sell, sell. So there's $7 left to make in here. That's not that bad, all things considered. So I'm just going to leave the TLT as it is. So okay, that is about it. Put on a couple new trades, did some adjustments. What time is it? It's a little after 8 o'clock on Friday. I don't know when I'm going to actually splice these videos together and upload them. I've been doing them and getting coffee in between and kind of dealing with some work stuff. So I will try to get it out today on Friday, Friday the 20th, but it might be the weekend. So cool. See you later. Actually, before I go, let me go back to, where was it? Apple. Because in some ways you can think of an in the money put, a deep in the money put, as long stock. So you can, this is not really effectively long stock, but if the stock price were down here, you could think of this as long stock because it's going to be a high delta put, short put, and it would turn into long stock if I kept it through expiration. So as a way to mitigate that for people who don't have these fancier positions, if you just have stock and you have permission, you can sell calls against this stock and consider this mentally, well, in this case, in your case, it might be a real covered call. So you have a long stock and you've sold a call against it, which caps your upside, protects you a little bit from the downside, and gives you a higher probability of success because you've essentially lowered your cost basis and collected some premium to do that. And in some way you could think of this as a sort of a bastardized covered call. This is like quasi stock and I sold a call against it to lower my cost basis. Or in this case, I effectively sold a call spread. Remember, I had an option up here, so I bought it back, rolled it down, which is effectively selling a call spread. So yeah, that might help some people who just have stock. If you have liquid stocks like Apple, SPY, those types of things, Facebook, even Tesla, you could sell calls against it and take advantage of the high implied volatility at the moment. And yeah, hopefully give you a little bit of downside protection and lower your cost basis and increase your probability of success. Okay, now I'm done.